Okay, so today we're going to be doing the quotient rule. The quotient rule, if two functions divide by each other, the derivative of the function is the derivative of f multiplied by g minus f multiplied by the derivative of g over g2 to the power of 2. So that's the quotient rule, and let's begin. So if h of x equals f of x over g of x, then the derivative of h of x equals the derivative of f multiplied by g minus f multiplied by the derivative of g over g to the power of 2. So that's the derivative rule. Okay, just giving you a moment to write it down, and let's begin. Using the power rule, the derivative of x is 1, the derivative of negative 1 is 0, so I just put 1 there, and the derivative of g is 2. And then our answer is 2 over 2x to the power of 2. Moving on. So our derivative, again, is f, the derivative of f multiplied by g, multiplied by f, and the derivative of g, all over g to the power of 2. What I like to do is I like to do 4 bracket spaces in which the derivative, in which this portion will be in all of those. And then g to the power of 2 you can do right away. And then I input the normal ones, g and f. The second one is first. And then the first one is second. And then I do to the derivative of f. answer is 3x to the power of 2 minus 4x plus 3 over brackets x to the power of 2 minus 1 bracket again to the power of 2. And let me just explain how I got here. Again, I did the 4 bracket spaces in which the derivative of f and g will go. I made sure that the symbol was a minus sign. And then I added g and f. And then I added derivative of f and the derivative of g using the power rule. If you're unfamiliar with the power rule, I strongly recommend you watch my other videos on derivatives, the power rule, the product rule, the chain rule, the derivative function, other things like that, so you understand how to use the power rule. And then I multiplied out. And I got these answers. And then a minus and a minus cancels out, becomes a plus. That's why I got plus 6 to the power of 2, plus 6x to the power of 2. And that's about it. And then I followed bedmass or operations or order of operations. And then I got the answer. You can expand this one out. We usually don't expand. But whatever your teacher expects of you, I suggest doing. Moving on. Okay. So there's our answer. Let me explain what I did here. I used the formula. I inputted the derivatives and the f and the g into the formula. And then I realized the derivative of 1, which is a constant, using the constant rule. The derivative of any constant is 0. So I did 0 and I stroked them both out because multiplying something by 0 equals 0. So I did that, and then I stroke out this 1. I replaced it with the 2x plus 4. And then I have this minus symbol in front of it, which I kept. And then I expanded that out. And then I got my answer. Okay, let me explain what I did here. I inputted the numbers into the formula, or the correct variables in the correct f and g. And then I multiplied, or expanded out. And then two minuses cancel out, become a plus. Negative 2x to the power of 2 plus x to the power of 2 is a negative x to the power of 2, and then I have plus 10x, and then I have minus 3, and that's how I got my answer. Moving on. And then I got my answer. Let me explain what I did here. And then I got 3 over x plus 1 in brackets to the power of 2. And then I got my answer. Let me explain what I did here. Again, I inputted the derivatives into formula. I inputted into the formula, and then I multiplied out. And then I crossed out what was common, so 2 things crossed out became a positive. I had negative 3, I was left with that, and I got my answer. Again, I inputted okay. So I input it into the formula, I multiplied out, I followed the order of operations, and I cleaned up the answer, and then I was left with my answer. Moving on. So I was left with negative 144x over x to the power of 2 minus 9 in brackets to the power of 2. Moving on. I'm hoping that we've reached a point in which you're picking up on how to do it faster or how to do it in a more way that makes sense to you. And I hope that your understanding has increased of how to do it. And I hope that you're listening to how we input the numbers into the formula and how we input the derivative using the derivatives using the power rule and all that jazz, right? So I hope this has been helpful to you, because I know calculus is really difficult, and with calculus being difficult, that we might need some more help. So watch as many videos as it takes, and I hope that you just found this helpful. But moving on, we have 2 more questions, and then that should be about it. So I was left with 2x to the power of 2 minus 12x minus 5 over 2x to the power of 2 plus 5 in brackets to the power of 2. I inputted into the formula. I found the derivatives using the power rule for this one and this one. And then I multiplied out. I cleaned up the function because I had two negative signs here that became a plus, and that got me to 2x to the power of 2 easier. But don't forget that negative sign also applies to this plus 12, and this positive sign does not. So that's how I got negative 12x, and minus 5 was left over as well, and that's how I got my answer. Last question. Hope it's an easy one. Okay, I got negative 8x to the power of 3 minus 3x to the power of 2 minus 8, all over in brackets x to the power of 3 minus 2, and that was to the power of 2 as well. Okay, next will be the chain rule, and I hope you found this very helpful. Have a good day.